Hey, good morning. Welcome back in here to WTHR Plus. Glad you're joining us on your Thursday morning. It's a cold start. We've enjoyed a cold start for the rest of the week, but it's going to be a colder start as we go on throughout the weekend.
Yeah, we're excited that we're getting closer to the weekend, but we're also trying to be prepared because we've talked about how intense this cold is going to be, and then also the snow coming in too.
I've been consulting with Matt about my Sunday plan.
No, sure,
I have some friends who are supposed to be going to brunch.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think there will be active snow, you're saying, but it's just the roads might be an issue because is it overnight Saturday that's the biggest issue?
Yep, Saturday night and Sunday morning. So by Sunday afternoon, it may stop, but the snow's just sitting there. And so that could still be a problem. Once again, not the biggest storm we've ever had, but 4, 5, 6 inches is that's still good snow for us, you know, coming on in.
Consider this my rescinded RSVP. I don't know. It's just you know what wants to be out when it's that cold anyway. But like you said, sometimes it's tougher on the weekend because there's just not people that are traveling that would maybe move some of the snow out the way.
Because maybe on the weekend you don't have to travel because maybe it's easier to cancel things like that. We've already been kind of reworking some of our plans for the weekend too. I know a lot of people are just kind of thinking about that. But what's crazy is the best way to get the road better is have people drive on.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to be the one doing it.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
You just can't win either way, basically.
That's right. Hey, but crews are going to be working so hard. Just a quick thing. For all the crews, road crews who are putting salt down and then plowing, all the law enforcement and even all the medical staff's going to be out there, emergency workers, you know, they're going to have a busy weekend. But once again, not the biggest winter storm, but there's something we need to talk about. The storm has now arrived there at the California coast, finally overland so we can diagnose it a little better. And you're still going to see now adjustments. It's been over the ocean. Hurricane Hunter aircraft were actually activated, that's rare, for them to go out to the storm and try to get us more information. But now it's made landfall. Doesn't look like much now. But here's the thing, the jet stream is hauling right now over the south central plains and the Ozarks. So once the low pressure gets into that wind flow, it's going to quickly expand and strengthen the storm. And that's why you have all these alerts painted. All these kind of steel blue alerts show you the winter storm watch, and now already some winter storm warnings being posted for parts of Texas and Oklahoma. This royal blue color shows you the extreme cold warning that we're getting in the Midwest, farther up the Midwest. They're not going to get as much of the snow, but all this cold air is setting up the situation for a wintry system. We had a front last night, and then another front's coming up tonight to make sure Indiana is bone-chilling cold as we go into the weekend. But even though we're going to be cold, it helps us out because we don't have to be talking about ice. Here in Indiana, as soon as you cross the Ohio River, at times they may switch over to some freezing rain and sleet in Kentucky. All right, here's a closer look at the winter storm watch. This will be adjusted as we go closer. A watch is issued about 2 days in advance saying, hey, these are the areas that will probably at least get a handful of inches of snow, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6, maybe a little bit more. Areas that are not included in the watch, still snows in the forecast. Maybe not as much, maybe 2 to 3 inches. I'm going to show you our snowfall forecast here in just a moment, but that kind of helps shows you how the sausage is made just a little bit for the winter storm watch. That comes up for the weekend. In the meantime, we're quiet today, a little bit colder thanks to the front that hit us last night. Mix of sun and clouds, not a big deal. We'll get to the low mid-30s here later this afternoon. Overnight tonight, colder though. That's when the next front hits. Northwest winds take over. These are the actual air temperatures, not wind chills. The wind chills could get down to -15 to -20 in some spots, and it's that front that just keeps us cold. So any system that comes by really the next week and a half, it's going to have snow chances. But there's Saturday and Sunday, we'll only have highs in the teens, but in the mornings will be in single digits. So plenty cold enough for snow. All right, here's how things are going to break up. We have the cold, and then we have the snow. Wind chills down to -20, maybe even -25 in a couple spots north of Indy. But that then leads to snow. Overall across central Indiana, a good 3 to 8 inches of snow is possible. You may be thinking, that is a huge range, and I know, but we have a big area. Our northern counties may only get 2, 3, 4 inches of snow, while our southern counties, so way south of Indianapolis, and we're talking Bloomington into Bedford and Seymour, we could get a little bit more for sure, maybe 6, 7, 8 inches, maybe more in some spots. So there's going to be a difference from north to south, but everyone's going to have snow-covered roads, and everyone needs to bundle up. Now, some of us to the north get the shovel ready. Some of us south get the shovel, and you may even activate the snowblower out there this weekend. But the one piece of good news I have for you is that the ice line is staying to our south. Now, if you've been watching, this has been creeping up, and now that we're getting more information from the system as it's on land and some of the Hurricane Hunter aircraft, we've been adjusting this storm. Kind of was trending too cold at some points, pushing the ice well south, almost to the Gulf Coast. But now I think it's more for parts of the Ozarks, Ouachitas, into the Tennessee River Valley, parts of the deep south. We're going to keep that just out of Indiana. The heaviest snow is always just north of the ice line. So that's going to be southern Indiana and right along the Ohio River. Let's play this out. There may be a couple different waves to this. The first wave could be arriving Saturday morning. This will likely be just scattered light snow showers. There could be some minor impacts and some minor accumulations, some slick spots are possible, but throughout the day on Saturday, we're just kind of getting things warmed up. Not technically because it's going to be cold, but we're kind of getting things warmed up for the bigger event. So scattered snow on and off light on Saturday. It's Saturday night when heavier snow bands will move in. This is the accumulating snow for us. This is where we'll start adding up a few inches. Sunday morning, solid snow still over Indiana. We think some of the heaviest will be Sunday morning. So when you wake up Sunday morning, you're not done yet. You might look out your window. I only got 3 inches so far. We're not done. We'll have still several hours to go. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. A lot of services, worship services could be impacted across the state as more snow fills in. Later into the afternoon, though, snow starts to wrap up. It becomes a little bit more scattered and a little bit lighter. Now on the backside, we'll have stronger northwest winds, and there could be some lake effect snow showers just kind of passing on by throughout the rest of Sunday evening, Sunday night, maybe even a Monday morning. So you put that all together, here's what we're expecting for our snowfall forecast. A good handful of inches, potentially around central Indiana. You go north of Indianapolis, a little bit farther north, at least, let's say a 45-minute drive. We're talking maybe 2 to 4, and that's going to be most of northern Indiana. That's still enough to coat the roads, and that's still enough to cause some travel difficulty for sure. Farther to the south is purple zone, 7 to 10. That's from Bedford south and Seymour south, and possibly 10 inches or more by the Ohio River. So the farther south you go in Indiana, that snowfall chance goes up. There's also kind of a slight tilt. It's not due east-west. That's because the storm system is kind of starting to our south and then starts wrapping up. But one note I also wanted to make, as you're on social media, you're probably going to see a lot of different crazy accumulation totals and random model data that's kind of hard to understand. Some model data is way too high. The reason why is the low pressure is going to be centered in Alabama. That's far south. And a lot of times what we've noticed is when it's so far south, models overperform. That's why you're seeing some places show 15 to 20 inches. I don't think that's going to be the case, but still this is going to be a good snow for us. Good handful of inches, maybe a little bit more. As we get a little bit closer, we'll continue to adjust those zones. We're still a couple days out. We want to get you eventually a forecast out because you got to make some plans for yourself, but we'll continue to adjust as we get to the weekend. But we have that weather impact alert due to the cold first, and then the snow that fills in, especially Saturday night into Sunday morning. It's 7:10. Let's talk about traffic. We have had some slowdowns on I-70. You're looking westbound, all these headlights going east. As soon as you pass the Monrovia exit and you're coming up to Plainfield and the Mooresville exit, this is where they've been doing some construction work while the weather's quiet. I know it's cold, but they can get a couple things done. There's been a lot of, potholes created throughout the winter. And so they're trying to get a little bit of work done at least before things get really active. This is a live look in Greenwood. You're looking along I-65. These taillights are going north towards Indy. Headlights headed south towards Columbus and Seymour. Traffic's moving fine, but you may see a lot of trucks on the roads today as they're putting down that salt and brine. So give them that space. They're going to be doing it today and tomorrow. Try to hit every road that they can before the snow arrives this weekend.